Charlie Hewitt has been an artist for more than 50 years.
I do like the process of painting because it's problem solving. When I'll take a situation like this, I'll lay that color down and it controls everything that happens around it.
A painter, a printmaker, and more.
So when you start a work like this, at the beginning, do you have a pretty good idea of what you want the finished product to look like?
None whatsoever.
As he moves about his studio in Portland, it's evident he's got a lot going on.
I love being an artist. I love it. And I sustain it and protect it in every way I can.
You sound like a guy who doesn't want to have a real job. You want to keep doing what you love.
I've never had a job. I don't think I can remember. I'm not really, I wouldn't be a good employee, would I?
Hewitt has had a lengthy and successful career as an artist, but not long ago he was feeling particularly unsettled by what he saw around him. The pandemic, toxic politics, bitter divisions in American life.
I found myself in a dark corner with my tribe and my narrative, throwing rocks at the other dark corner and not understanding their tribe. So I said to myself, I'm going to use this. I'm going to dare myself to walk out of my dark corner and stand in the light. And I'll ask you in your corner to be brave enough to come and stand with me.
About that time, Hewitt was asked to create a sculpture. One that would be installed on a busy stretch of Forest Avenue in Portland on the roof of the Speedwell Project's Arts Building. What he came up with was a design both playful and elegant. A neon sign with just one word.
There are other words that provide a sense of uplift. And you could have chosen, any of a dozen or 15 or 20 words. Why did you choose hopeful?
It was a whim. It was a risk. I could have said grateful. I could have said happiness. I could have said something really stupid, and I wouldn't be talking to you now. It'd be a joke. So as an artist, it was a big risk to stick something 25 feet up on top of a building and light it up.
Because you've got to get it right. It's one word.
Yeah, and I haven't always gotten it right, Rob. Okay, I mean, I've done some things that didn't really work.
The image has clearly touched people.
What kind of comments have you gotten in response to it?
I was at Cumbies the other day, and I had this pin. I was buying some coffee, and the woman at the counter goes, "Oh, I love that sign. I just moved here from upstate New York. I had to flee a bad relationship with my husband, family problems. I moved here to Portland. I've been only here 3 months, and I drove down the street, and I saw that sign the first week, and I knew this is the town I live in." Now, these are not things that I create. These are things that people bring to the idea.
That's not the reaction that you've gotten from 5 decades worth of work. The reactions that you've gotten to Hopeful are really out of the ordinary.
People put a painting above their couch. They don't call me up and say, my life just changed. Really, if they did, I think there's something wrong with them.
Hopeful signs have been erected in Portland, Bangor, Lewiston, Brunswick, and more than a dozen other places around the U.S. And there are hopeful pins and bumper stickers and more.
These pieces are collected by collectors. I've sold 23, 24 into homes. There's actually one on a yacht, if you can believe it.
One reason why the image struck a chord, Hewitt believes, is because hopeful is a word that invites action.
It's a word about getting up and doing something about it. It's not something you sit with. Being hopeful requires commitment. It requires action. And it requires you to take a chance to go into the future.
Standing outside the building where the first sign went up, Charlie Hewitt is one happy artist.
What goes through your mind when you're driving this way and it's dark and so the sign is nicely illuminated and you look upon it?
I mean, it's still a surprise to me every time. I one time I said to my wife, we live in Yarmouth, let's take a ride down. I just want to go see my sign tonight.
Just one word, 7 letters, and yet a message that resonates.
How has this changed your life?
Oh, no, it hasn't changed my life. It's enriching my life. It makes me feel proud and connected, and it has changed my life. I'll tell you why it's changed my life. It's made me want to come out and talk to people. It's made me more accessible. It makes me want to be part of that message, as well as being the artist. Because I'd like to be able to say, I want to be that message as much as the one who made it. I want to live it.
More important, how do you hope it will change other people's lives?
Oh, God, now that is on them. And that's a hard one for me to answer.
In the end, Hewitt believes, it's not going to take much kindness to improve things. Just saying a word or being gracious or reaching out to each other may yet create a better world.